Hello, everybody. Hi, welcome to Shirley's Wind Down Tuesday. And I am Shirley with Shirley's Threadwork. Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Welcome back. And I'm so glad that you're here tonight because whether you're joining me live, are you going to catch the replay? So I just want to give a shout out to everybody that's out there in YouTube land as well as Facebook land. And thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. And also, I want to thank everybody that will be watching the replay because I do know a lot of you do. So thank you so much. Tonight, hopefully, we'll have a good time. Hopefully, you'll enjoy the topic. And I do want to let you know that this is a 6-week series. So it will be 5 more weeks of information pertaining to the series. The topics were put on my thumbnail that is on Facebook and YouTube, but I will go over the topics tonight as well so you'll know what to look forward to. So I'm hoping that you're as excited about the series as I am. I know I've talk to you guys over and over again about giving me ideas and things that you're interested in and what you want to hear and all of that. And so I'm trying to be proactive, come up with things ahead of time. And hopefully, like I said, they're meaningful and something that is of benefit. I saw quite a few people did look at the video last week about the presser feet. So it seemed like it went over pretty well, and several people were interested in it because quite a few more people watched the replay and everything, and I was happy to see that. So I guess the presser feet presentation had a little meaning for people, and maybe some of you all actually looked at your pressure feet collection to see what you had and pull out some of the things that you haven't used yet and give it a try, and hopefully you have found that they are beneficial to you. I was looking at some videos this week, uh, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that I think it was Sally Tomatoes, which makes all of the bags and purses and stuff. She was talking about the Teflon foot and the roller foot, and I was like, "Wow, I got that." And of course, she talked about the walking foot, and I have that too. So I felt pretty good. All the different feet that she was talking about and demonstrating, I already have them. So I thought, oh wow, this is pretty good to know that I do have some of these feet, and I will be using them, especially with the project that I'm working on now with the Social Society crew. I am working on a project using faux leather and our polyurethane, I think is what they call it, the PU versus vinyl. And they do recommend that you use a Teflon foot or a roller foot or a walking foot, depending upon how it works for you. So that information about pressure feet and using what you have that came with your sewing machine or buying an additional feet or two for different projects seems to be something that is pretty important. So I'm glad I had the opportunity to discuss that information. And those of you that were interested in upgrading your pressure feet, getting a collection or what have you, I hope you were able to do that as well. So let's see who's in here. Hi, Jenny. How are you? And hi, Robin. How are you? Thank you guys for stopping by. Glad that you were able to do that. I do see a bigger count on my screen, so I know there's more people that are watching. They just haven't come in yet, but that's okay. You don't have to come in, but I do appreciate it if you do. Hi, Val, and hi, Becky. How are you? I hope all is well. And Val, I do hope everything is going well with you and your family. Excuse me, and your family now. So you do continue to have my prayers and everything for your situation that is going on. So as usual, I'm going to give it a few more minutes before I dive into the presentation and for tonight. So we're waiting for a few more people to drop in. Hopefully they will soon. I hope we have a pretty good crowd of people coming in. They usually come in straggling little by little, but that's okay. Um, we can appreciate them whenever they come in. It doesn't matter. This has been a pretty productive week for me. Starting on my weekend, usually I'm so drained and tired, I don't get too much done, or I'm ripping and running here and there and everywhere, and I don't get too much done. But this particular weekend, I was lucky to stay at home. I didn't go anywhere, and I was so happy of that because I was able to get things done and to work on things. I've worked on some projects. I finished a project. I started a project, and I did some work around the house and all of that kind of stuff, which is pretty unusual for me to be. I even baked a cake today. Must have been feeling pretty good to me actually to bake a cake, and I mean from scratch, from the very beginning. I with the eggs and the butter and the flour and the sugar and all of that stuff and the measuring and stuff. I actually baked a cake. So I'm pretty happy and proud of that, along with doing my laundry and other things. So, like I said, this was a pretty productive 4 days off. For all of you that work, this probably was a long weekend for you because you had yesterday off. Not yesterday. When was the first? Yesterday was the first, I guess. So yesterday was the holiday, Labor Day. I get confused because we didn't celebrate. So, it's just another day for me. And Monday is my regular day off anyway. So it really wasn't an extra day for me. But that's okay. I still appreciate it being off. And yes, Jenny, I did do a cake. I made my regular 7-Up cake. My husband loves it. My son loves it, but he's not here. But anyway, I just felt like baking a cake. I had been baking some strawberry cakes for the church anniversary. I did that for the 4th of July. I did that. And I didn't want to do a strawberry cake or anything like that anymore. So let me go back to my regular 7-Up cake that I normally bake. So that's what I did. So hi Danielle, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Hi Beverly with Creative Notion. Thank you for stopping by as well. So I am so glad that all of you have popped in. And hey Becky, how are you? So I am going to go ahead and get started. And as the topic says, embroidery in the age of personalization. And this is week 1 of a 6-week series. So we're going to get started. We're diving into a topic that touches every single stitcher, no matter what kind of machine you have or skill level you have, or even how long you have been doing your embroidery. We're talking about personalization. Personalization of embroidery items is trending really well. And the thing that's so good about it is something that does not tend to go out of style regardless of whether it is a change of season, holidays, what have you. Personalization of embroidered items stay on trend. So that's why we're discussing that tonight. Embroidery, as we know, is beautiful in its own right to own. That is one of the reasons why I got into embroidery, because I personally love the look of embroidered items. So I decided to learn how to embroider. And with that, and the reason I loved it so well is because you could personalize. I love seeing initials on the cuffs and collars and um, logos and what have you. To me, it's just really pretty, especially for women. Men tend to get these things, but women can also embroider on their cuffs and collars and so forth and so on to embellish their blouse and things like that. And I've always seen that and I've always loved it. We add names and dates and messages and logos and all of that, and then you suddenly transform your embroidered item into something that is totally unforgettable. It's something that a lot of people cherish it. Um, and it's a lot of fun to stitch if you haven't done it yet. And because of that, I think that's why people love it so much. It's because it it emotes feelings and memories, and they become special, and it's something that oftentimes you don't even want to get rid of because of the fact that it is so special. And it is something that sells very well. So the thing that I also want to point out is the fact that you don't have to be an expert to do personalization. Anybody that knows anything about embroidery, even if you're a beginner, you can do personalization and you can do it well enough to sell. So just think about that. And let me see what you said, Jenny. You said, that's great, Miss Shirley. I spend some time in my craft room. I heard that. And Robin, you've been making little ghosts for your quilt. See, all of these nice, wonderful things that we do and personalize stuff as well. So let me ask you a big question at the very beginning, because I know I have spoken to you guys off and on throughout the whole time that I've been doing the lives and stuff. And oftentimes people voice that they want to sell things, they want to break out of just having it as a hobby and actually make some money, but they don't feel like they have the skill level to actually sell something. And I'm not just necessarily talking about getting an Etsy shop or anything like that. We'll make something and give it to somebody, or gift it to somebody or what have you, but to outright say, okay, I'll make this for you and I'm going to charge you X amount of dollars seems to be something that some people seem to be a little leery about, because you don't feel like that what you do is good enough to actually ask for money for it. But that's not true. That's something that we need to get over that. So the question that I have for you tonight, the very first question, we'll have some. Do you really need to be an expert before you can sell personalized embroidery? And I'm going to answer that question for you right now. And that answer is no. However, what I do want you to do is answer this question, put it in the chat so we can get the discussion started. What is the very first personalized item you ever stitched? Or maybe the first one you ever received? Just stop and think about it. And while you're doing that, I'll think about that and that question myself to see what was the very first personalized item I've ever stitched. I have to be honest about it. I really do think they were masks for COVID, because I started embroidering just before COVID. And when I say just before, I mean like weeks. It wasn't even a month. It was like weeks, a couple of weeks or so. And then COVID hit, and, people were wearing masks and what have you. And I started personalizing masks for myself. I got online, I looked up how to make the masks, to make them as close to an N95, because they weren't letting regular people buy the N95s. You had to be in the medical field and what have you. And even though I worked in the hospital at the time, I wasn't working directly with patients or anything like that. We were in an office up front. They didn't let us have N95. So if we wanted that same protection, we had to figure out how to get that. And so with me, like I said, I did some research and I discovered a pattern. And I want to think it was Created Applique, to be honest about it, that had the pattern and explain how to use the stabilizer and everything, because I had like 4 layers, to be honest about it. And I did that, and I started personalizing my own mask just for myself, not to sell or anything. That was not even in the plan, but I was encouraged to sell, and that's how everything got started. But for me, the first thing that I personally um, stitched out and personalized was a face mask during the COVID. So let me see. Robin, you said a shirt for your granddaughter. And Danielle, you said stitch to make or stitch to sell. it doesn't matter whether you making it for yourself or to sell it. What is the first thing that you stitched um, and personalized? Because, like for me, like I said, for my very first thing, it was a mask for myself that I personalized for myself. And when I said personalized, I didn't necessarily put my name or initial or anything on there. I selected designs that were personal to me. I know one that stood out very prominent because I was kind of teed off that they would not let our office work from home when we could have. And because we were considered essential, so we had to come in. My mask that I uh, did had a design of a stethoscope. Um, I think it created a heart, but it was a stethoscope and it had RN on it. And then I put the word essential on it. So that was my mask that I wore that had the RN, and then I had essential because like I said, that was just on my protest. Like, I'm here because I'm essential. Because you know how that was, whether you were essential, you came to work, and if you were not, then you could stay at home. And that was kind of the way it was with me. So to answer your question, Danielle, it doesn't matter whether you were selling it or making it for yourself. And Val, you said you hand embroidered a name on a high school boyfriend's varsity jacket. Then you embroidered your daughter's christening gown after you made it by hand and embroidered the pearls. Oh, how sweet. So you've been doing this for a moment. Well, that is really sweet. I did not do any hand embroidery, still don't do it, even though I love it. It is so beautiful. I don't think I'm going to ever get into it because I don't think I have the dexterity to do that. I don't do hand things very well, but regardless, that's very beautiful. Hi, Claudette. How you doing? You lost track of time trying to finish your quilt. No problem. You're here on plenty of time. So, okay, so we have a few people that remember the first thing that they ever embroidered. Now, why is personalization so powerful? What keeps it on trend year in and year out, season in and season out? Personalization is powerful for three reasons. One is emotional, two, practical, and three, of course, trendy. The emotional component is people hold on to personalized gifts for a lifetime. I know some people, like myself, are very sentimental. I know people, I used to, I don't anymore, but people hold on to their birthday cards and Christmas cards and all kinds of cards and stuff forever. They collect them, they keep them. Some people hold on to their concert tickets and special event tickets that reminds them of where they went and what they did and when they did it. We collect stuff. Things that you've done in life, you tend to collect and hold on. So that's the same thing with personalized items. If you personalize a gift for somebody, you give them a towel or a jacket, a shirt, uh, whatever that you're doing, and you put their name on it or some type of design or something that speaks to them for something that has special meaning to them, most likely they're going to hang on to that item until it just wears completely out, and then they'll probably still hold on to it. Think about baby blankets with the birth statistics on it, the stats, their birth date, the weight, the height, all of that information. Those things are very popular, and that's something that can be passed down to the child for them to have when they get grown. And who knows, they may even pass that down to their children and their children's children. It's something that just stands out. This was Granny's birth pillow or her birth bunny or whatever. I did a birth bunny for my great granddaughter when she was born, um, and they said that's one of her favorite toy that she has, and she has it in her. Well, she's probably not doing. She's still probably in a crib, but she's not a baby anymore. She's 3. She's a big girl now. Yeah, but birth stats, wedding pillows. I did a wedding pillow for my son and my daughter-in-law for their wedding as one of their gifts. Put the Mr. and Mrs. and had a cute wedding design and so forth and so on. I also did graduation stole. Those things are very popular and they have a lot of meaning. Back in the day before people were doing a lot of embroidery, I do remember back home in Mississippi, people kept their tassels. You would see them hanging in the car. You would see people 30, 40, 50 years old and they still have their high school tassels from their cap hanging in their car or something like that. They keep it forever. So that's personalization. It's something that has memory. So if you stitch the stole, everybody's wearing the stoles now and has their organization that they were in school or college or their major, the year, all of those, that stuff that made that uh, matriculation popular or a, a good memory for them. They want to keep that. And some people put them in shadow boxes and what have you, or they just keep them forever and put them in a box, put it away, forget they have it, pull it out 20 years later and say, wow, look at this. It brings back memories. And that's what it does. It actually brings back memories. It puts you where you were when this particular event happened. So that's why personalization is so important and so popular because of that emotional attachment. Now, practicality, what does that mean? It solves a problem, so they're saying. Monogram a tile. Excuse me. I'm sorry, my throat got scratchy. Oh my goodness. Monograph tiles has your initials on it, your name on it. It's not going to get mixed up with somebody else because it's got your name on it, your initials, your whatever information that you put on there that is specifically to you. Luggage tags put on your luggage. It helps you identify your luggage because nobody most likely will have a luggage tag like yours. I know I have put very unique luggage tags on my luggage, so I can see it coming down the carousel, coming down the carousel, and you can spot there it is because nobody has that tag. It's not a traditional regular tag. It's a very special tag, and I can spot it a mile away. So that helps you from not getting your luggage, or hopefully nobody else getting your luggage. That's personalization. School backpacks for the kids. A lot of kids have the same backpack because they'll go to the same store. They'll go to Walmart and Target and what have you and buy the same backpack. So you got all these different backpacks that look just alike. But if you put their name on it, then they know that this is Johnny's backpack, this is Betty's backpack, this is Andre's backpack, whatever, because that person's name is on it. So that's the practicality of personalization. And then to trend wise, personalization, like I said, is very hot. It has been hot for quite a bit. And the younger generation, they love personalization. They do not mind walking around with their names plastered all over everything. Not only do they put it on their items, they put them on their bodies. So they love personalization. I have a young cousin. It was so funny when she told me she literally has her name tattooed across her neck. And she was in a store one day and she was doing whatever she was doing, and the person behind the counter addressed her by her name. And she looked at him like, how you know my name? And the person said, because you got it all over you. It's on your neck. She totally forgot she had it on there. But and you don't want nobody to know your name. Don't put it out there on your neck. But that's just, an example of how people, the younger people, love personalization. They do not mind walking around, like I said, with their names plastered all over their shirts and hoodies and jackets and what have you. they don't care their names, their initials, and their organizations, whatever they like, their favorite rap artists, whatever it is, they like to have all of that. So that gives you great opportunity to do personalization. My grandson is an up and coming rapper, and I put puff vinyl on hoodies with his rapper's name on it. It's personalized, and he wears it, which is advertisement. I did it because it's advertisement. People see the jacket, see him, the hoodie, they know who he is. I put the first one I did for him. I put his rapper name on the front, and on the back I put was it applique? I believe I did applique on the back. The name of his very first song, the most popular one he has out. And so it was like I said, for me, I did it for advertisement for him. But he loved it anyway because he's walking around with the name on it. And then I turned around and did my great granddaughter, and I put my daddy is whatever his name was on there. So that's more personalization. I didn't want to put her name on there because she's a baby, but I did put his name on there again for advertisement. And so they don't want cookie cutter stuff. They want to be unique. They want everything to be specific to what their interest is, or who they are, or who they want to be, or their representation. That's why Etsy small shops are thriving. The ones that do a lot of personalization do very well, because we that do that, and Jeanette, I see you're on here. Welcome. Thank you. We can offer things that are not mass produced, like stores can't. You can go into a store and you may be lucky enough to find your name. 9 times out of 10, you won't, because we tend to have very modern, unique names, and it's hard to find a cup, a mug, a shirt, a tile, whatever, with our names on. They have generic names, old names, whatever they think is popular. But we can make all of that stuff, and we can make it personalized to them. And not just embroidery. Those of us that do vinyl, those of us that do rhinestone, as you can see, those of us that do um, sublimation, those lasers, GTF, all of that kind of stuff. We can personalize things, and those skills gives us the opportunity to be present in the trend of personalization. Oh my, what happened? Did I disappear? Because I'm sorry about that. Oh my goodness, that was a little weird. Um, Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Becky, you said you did a baseball LA Dodgers. You did a baseball LA Dodger fan on it, and new baby info for a lady in California for a gift for her parents. It was so cute. See, they couldn't go out and buy that. They definitely have to get that from somebody that can do it uh, as a personalization. And Danielle, you said, well, I try to remember what I first made. Considering I don't remember what I did this morning, I'm sorry I don't remember your first creation. Well, that's okay. We'll get you on the next question. And hi, Leslie. Thank you for stopping by, as well as I think I did see. Yes, I did see Jeanette. So hi, Jeanette. Thank you for stopping by as well. Uh, and you're saying folks have sticky fingers. And because you like to you like to personalize your items so people won't steal them, because folks have sticky fingers. I won't tell my story, but I have personalized some things to give for that sole purpose. I'll just leave it there to make sure no one else can use it or have it or hopefully steal it, because your name ain't on there. And it'd be kind of hard for you to prove that this is yours when it doesn't even have your name on it. It has the name on it of the person that happens to have the missing item. Let me see. So another question. What's one personalized item that you own that you will never part with? What's one personalized item that you own that you feel you will never part with? That's a little hard for me. Let me think. Let me think. While I'm thinking, Jenny, you said you made a personalized tote bag for a friend with her initial on it and recently made a personalized tile for your niece's birthday. Great, great, great. What do I have that's personalized that I will never part with? Two things. Neither were embroidered, but they're still personalized. And it has to do with two gifts that I got when my son got married, 3 years ago now. And part is being part of the wedding party. My daughter-in-law gave all of the ladies, including myself, personalized robes because we were all down getting all made up and everything. So she wanted to make sure we had on robes and stuff. So it had Mother of the Bride on there. And then also a handkerchief. Now, like I said, it wasn't embroidered and it didn't have my name on it, but it was personalized Mother of the Bride. So it's something that I won't ever get rid of. I have all of those in a nice little box with all the cute little gifts and stuff that we all collected for the wedding, and something that I will always keep as long as I can. But I have not received personalized gifts with my name on it. Now, I have obviously personalized some things myself, but since I do it so often and I do shirts and stuff and I have like zillions of shirts, I'm not going to say won't get rid of them because I have gotten rid of some because I can just do more. I can just do more, so it doesn't matter. I can redo the one I got rid of if I want to, just to put it on a nice fresh shirt. But personalization is important. Um, and Robin, you said yours is the reading pillow Jeanette gifted you for Esther, and that's so sweet. See, something that you will never get rid of. Good, 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 good. Um, So next we're going to talk about skill building versus selling. Like I mentioned earlier, where do you stand? What do you feel is holding you back from thinking that you can sell the items that you make? Because like I said, I know several of you have mentioned that on this program that you want to sell, you're kind of nervous about selling, you make things, but you're not sure you should sell them or if they're good enough to sell or what have you. And are you unsure because you feel like you don't have enough skills to sell? Now, it is true that your reputation is built around the quality of your work. That is 100% true. So I'm not suggesting or saying that anybody that just started embroidering yesterday should try to sell anything. And I have to tell you this story, and it's embarrassing, but it's a story about me. When I first got my machine, SC 1900, I liked the stuff that I did so well. I really thought I was ready to sell, to be honest about it. But what I did, where I was working, there was a nice a young doctor I had made friends with that had two little girls, and I made both of them a cute little shirt, big sis, little sis shirt, and I gifted it to her for her little girl, and she took pictures and everything and showed me. And I have to be honest about, I was embarrassed once I saw the pictures because at that time I did not know anything about no show mesh. And I was doing exactly what I was told to do. If you wear don't tear. You can't tear it, so you can't use tearaway. So I used regular cutaway stabilizer, but you literally could see the square. You literally could see the square through the shirt. And I didn't know any better at the time. So had I wanted to sell that shirt, yeah, that would have been embarrassing. I gave it as a gift. Don't know if she ever put it on the kid again, ever. I don't know. But I learned a lesson. I definitely learned a lesson. I realized that I needed to figure out a way to be able to do embroidery and do designs and what have you on a t-shirt without the um, the stabilizer showing through, but yet and still not using cutaway. I mean tearaway. So that's when I discovered no show mesh, and I've been using no show mesh ever since, and that has resolved that issue. But again, I said that to say that I thought I was ready when I was not ready to sell. However, I did have sense enough not to start trying to sell anything. It was kind of like I was saying, you got to start off with something. And right here where it says, as far as beginners, try out your things as gifts and donations with friends and family and charity and stuff like that to see what the feedback is. Look at your own things as well. Give it a criticizing eye, but don't be too hard on yourself. Learn what the basic rules are, but you can do it as long as you're hooping everything correctly, as long as you're using the correct stabilizer, the correct needle, the right design for the fabric that you're stitching on, then you can do it. They said the beginner skills is hooping properly, using stabilizers, and stitching pre-made designs because you don't know how to digitize yet if you're a beginner. And you can sell items like towels and bibs or tote bags with a monogram or a name, something that is quick and simple, a one letter, or maybe the three letter, or even a nice name or something, as long as you have the proper tools to make sure everything is lined up correctly and you know how to do all those things. That's the beginner skill. Then you move on up to the intermediate skill, where you're adding letters, combining designs, working within the hoop projects, and that opens the doors to do zipper pouches, baby gifts, and holiday stockings. They said that's kind of in the intermittent level. Um, and then when you get to the advanced skills, that's when you are able, if you choose to, know how to digitize your own artwork. You can do larger projects or more detailed custom orders. And that's where you can do branding for uniforms and even high-end items. So that would be your advanced skills. Now, customers are not always paying for perfection. They are paying for uniqueness and thoughtfulness, not for every stitch to be flawless. Now that's what they are saying in the research that I did. However, I do want to back up and say you still need to be mindful of what you put out because it carries your name. You don't want to put out junk and then charge for it. If you feel like it's crooked, the registration is off, you have skipped stitches, you still have a bunch of jump stitches. What else have I seen? The stitches aren't, they have the loops and everything, they're not woven tightly. I mean, you can tell when something isn't done correctly. That's not something that you want to present to somebody and you're putting yourself in a position to try to sell because they'll look at least I would look at it. Now that's something else that you have to keep in mind. Everybody doesn't know what good embroidery is supposed to look like. I'll tell you that. I have shown things to people that they thought was absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, and I'm looking at it like, um, it could be done better. It could be a little bit better, but that's because I know what's good and what's not good. Even the things that I do myself, I can look at it and I'm mad. I messed that up. Something about it isn't quite right. So you're not going to give it to anybody. No, no, let's sell it to somebody. But that's just because I've been doing it for a while. So think about the things that you've seen in stores. I know for a fact I've seen stuff in stores that don't meet up to my standard of what I would put out to sell. And I look at it and I just kind of shake my head. And they want how much money for this? But it's mass produced, and that's why it's not perfect. We do things individually, custom, or something that we're putting together as a small business to sell. So you want it to be as good as possible. But I don't want you to beat yourself up and think that you have to be stitching for years and years and years before your skill is good enough to start selling things. Now, where do you think you fall? As a beginner, intermediate, or advanced? Drop that in the chat. Just want to talk about it. I just want to know, where do you think you fall? For me, I feel like I fall in the intermediate. I don't consider myself an expert, not yet. I'm still learning. I am still learning. I still make boo-boos. But the thing about it, I know enough about what something is supposed to look like to know whether or not it is good or bad. And do I know how to correct it? Usually. But do I know how to do everything there is to do in embroidery? No. There are some things I have yet to do. I have not done. But I'm working on it. So for me, I still consider myself intermediate. Not that I've not done um, custom orders. I have. I've done logos. I haven't really done any high-end items. And I personally would be leery to do that because I do know for a fact if I mess it up, I got to replace it. And it depends upon what you consider high end. Now, I have done something that have cost double or maybe triple digit, but not like hundreds of dollars. I would be very nervous, especially if I had to do multiple ones, because that's a whole lot of money that I would have to replace. And I'm not there yet as far as affording to be able to do that. So, no, I'm kind of like Eve, and I don't know where she is right now as far as her thought process, and she does mostly rhinestone right now. But back when she was doing mostly embroidery, she always touted that she likes to buy the blanks herself because she knows where to get them and how much they cost and what she can replace if need be. I am very much in that arena right now with the things that I do. I like to know that whatever it is that I'm going to be stitching for somebody, it will be within the category of something that I would not faint if I had to replace it because I do know crap happens. I've messed some things up. I was perfect example. I was doing a graduation stole. It came out beautiful. Didn't want to do it no way because I was a little leery, but I did it anyway and it came out beautiful. I was so happy until I got ready to take it off the hoop. And I had not caught the fact that the tail of it, which I call myself checking, had looped up under there and got caught. Couldn't get it off the hoop. Had to cut it. Had to buy it and replace it and do it all over again. Thank goodness it was just a graduation stove. That didn't cost a whole lot of money. Because I mean, stuff like that happens. And you can be as careful as possible. At least you think you're being so careful. And then you fool around and you make a mistake. Now, once you get to the advanced level, I'm not going to say you're not going to make mistakes either. I don't know. But for me, I still consider myself intermediate. So let me see what you guys have said. Hi, Joyce. Thank you for stopping by. Who else is coming here? Thought I saw somebody else. Claudette Hall, how are you? Baker McFake, how you doing? Um, okay. Danielle, you say you're a beginner. I don't believe that. Val, you say you're intermediate. Um, let me see who else. Becky, you say you're intermediate. Claudette, you say you're a beginner all the way. Robin, intermediate with a question mark. I don't believe that. And Beverly from Creative Notion, beginner. So we have various people. I didn't see anybody put advanced on here. Now, I'm pretty much sure there are a few advanced people out here now. I know that. I don't consider myself advanced because I know for a fact I still have a lot to learn, but I'm on my way. Um, the more I learn, the more I do, the better I get. Jenny, you say you love your personalized gift that you received from Rita and Margaret. Rita gifted you a cap with your name on it and you love it. And Margaret gifted you several items with your name on it, which you also love. That's great. And who this is? Becky said Jeanette gave you napkins with C on them, and they are so nice as gift. You don't want to get them dirty. Yeah. So we got like I said, we got people with different, consider themselves with different skill levels. But I'm glad to see how many people actually consider themselves intermediate. So that's pretty good. Those are people like myself. We feel pretty confident and comfortable embroidering things. Most things we do pretty well, but we do recognize the fact that we're still learning. Now, with the advanced skills, again, I've done large projects. I've not done my own artwork because I don't digitize, probably never will. And I've done a few branding, but I still consider myself intermediate because I still, like I said, have a lot to learn. A lot to learn because there's always something that you can learn. So now let's talk about products and personalization. If you're wondering what sells best in the embroidery world, here's a big category of things that sell pretty well, and they work really well for those of us that are beginners and intermediate if you're interested in it. And as baby and kids clothes never go out of style. What is all involved in that? Blankets, bibs, birth cloth, birth stat pillows, and school backpacks, the cuddles, onesies, any kind of baby clothing, heirloom quilts, all of those things pertaining to a baby. The pacifiers with the string on it, the teething rings with the strings on it. Those are things that people put into bassinet gift baskets for baby showers and what have you. You can create your own basket for baby showers and put all of that stuff together and sell it. I never will forget Candia. What was Candia's last name? What is Candia's last name? Can't remember it, but there was a lady named Candia that was teaching embroidery several years ago, and unfortunately, she lost her mom during the pandemic, and she just kind of disappeared and didn't come back. She was having a hard time struggling with that situation. But I remember watching her during the time, and she was a master in marketing her products because she had the beautiful skill of putting things together that just, I mean, it would be packaged so beautifully, you would pay whatever she charged you because it was such a beautiful, beautiful gift. And one of the things that always stood out to me that she did was the baby shower baskets that she did. I wanted to duplicate that so much. I even went out and bought baskets and cuddles and what have you to try to duplicate, but my skill level for decorating is nowhere near hers. I did duplicate her cookie tray thing that she did for a Christmas gift. That was really cute. But if you have that creative mind, how you can market things together and put it and just package it, that goes a long way because people buy with their eyes. People see beautiful items and they want them, even if they don't need them. They'll buy them because they're cute, buy them because they're pretty. They'll pay that extra money if it looks like it's valuable. So if you're good in marketing and putting things together and doing a beautiful presentation, you have a leg up. So that was one thing that she did that I just really, I was in awe of her with that. I hate so bad that she stopped. Coming online and doing her YouTube because she had a lot of skills and a lot to show. Apparels are another monogram shirts, hats, jackets, hoodies. I do that. I do a lot of that. Hats, jackets, hoodies, shirts. I do a lot of that. I do more of that than any of the other stuff. So that's kind of where I am. However, I don't do it on Etsy. I do the more um, custom, I guess, if you want to call it. People will get in touch with me and ask me to do shirts and hoodies and what have you. The reason I don't do it on Etsy is because I don't want to have to be worried with inventory of that kind. I don't have that kind of seed money to our room to do the inventory of multiple shades, multiple sizes, and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, I can't do that. The other is home decor, towels, pillow covers, holiday stockings, kitchen sets, also out of the box sheets and pillowcases for sheet sets, those kinds of things for home decor. And there's quite a few other things that aren't as popular, but who knows? I've heard of people doing shower curtains. I thought that was interesting, but I've heard of it. Um, Laundry basket, the lining of the laundry basket and the laundry drawstring things for the college kids to go back to put their dirty clothes in. You make the little laundry thing, but it's a drawstring bag, and you put the name and stuff on there. Again, personalization, so it doesn't get mixed up. Nobody can take your child's things. All of those things are something that you can sell. And then down to the business branding, which we all know, company polos, putting their logos on there, tote bags, aprons, caps, anything that they may give away that you can embroider on, they will, come to you and ask you to do that for them, and you can make good money. I know Jeanette does a lot of those kinds of things for the companies that reach out to her, and it can be very lucrative. And if you're comfortable, and I feel if you feel like you're in the intermediate group, you can do that because I've done logos, I've done large orders of logos, I've done. I won't necessarily say um, well, I've had things digitized. They have given me the idea, information that they want, and I've reached out to digitizers and had it digitized and okayed, and then went forward as far as logos and things are concerned and designs that they want, have it in their head, but they don't quite have it together. And then, just kind of talk it through with your digitizer and come up with something very nice that they would like. So I've done something like that before. Oh yeah, Robin, you said the other day you saw the Crafty Puerto Rican show, and she showed how to personalize a plastic school folder. I didn't see that, but I would assume she was doing it with sublimation. If I'm not mistaken, that would be pretty cool. Like I said, we're not 100% just stuck with having to do everything that is embroidered, because we do have other skills here. Many of you are doing sublimation, DTFs, rhinestones, all of that kind of stuff. Oh, Robin, you said it was embroidery. Okay, I got to look at that. I have to look at that. Now, I have a plastic school. Did she embroider directly on the folder, or did she make a cover for the folder? Because I've done covers for composition books, but I'm not stitched directly on a plastic folder. You said yes, and I don't know what the yes is for. You can clarify that. Now, every single one of the markets that I just spoke about, baby and kids, apparel, home decor, and business branding is booming in personalization. Baby items sell year round. Never run out of the need for baby items. Wedding items spike seasonally. Now, people do get married all year, all throughout the year, but spring and summer usually are the most, but people do have fall and winter weddings as well. So you still can do wedding type um, projects, gifts, or what have you throughout the year, but you're not going to get that big bump like you would with babies, because that is a seasonal type of situation. And then, of course, branded apparels are steady all year long. Um, and then when you're doing just like t-shirts and hoodies, believe it or not, that's all year long as well. Those are apparels, because these young people wear hoodies when it's 100 degrees outside. They don't care. And they wear t-shirts when it's 40 below zero. It don't matter. It's what they want, and that's what they wear. So it doesn't really matter as far as the season. These things are usually there. Now, as a fun fact, baby items are one of Etsy's top personalized categories. And they said weddings bring in seasonal spikes in the spring and summer, like I said. But baby items are the top selling personalizing gifts on Etsy. That's some good information. I might have to think about that. So now I have another question for you guys. So Robin, you said she embroidered directly on the folder. I'm going to have to watch that. That's kind of cool. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. If you had to pick one, would you focus on baby items, home decor, or apparel personalization? If you were in the process of starting off your business or Etsy shop or whatever, what category would you think about starting off? Just pick one. I currently am in the home decor category, because I am at this present doing mostly kitchen tiles, but in the process of making other things and branching off to something else. So Becky, you're saying baby items. Robin, you say home decor. Anybody else? Anybody else? Clothing, apparel. Okay, that's Val. Val says apparel. Yeah, so we got people wanting to do everything. No one has said anything about branding, which you can't really do that on Etsy. So I guess that makes sense. Baby items, home decor, and apparel. And all of those, Jenny, you said home decor as well. And like I said, I'm doing home decor right now. Baby items would be fun. Baby items, I'm pretty sure baby items would do very well. But then again, you're thinking about, or I'm thinking about the inventory. And Beverly with Creative Notion, hats and shirts. So you love doing hats. That's good to know. Most people don't want to do those caps. So I'm glad to hear that you're interested in doing caps. Now, for me, I don't mind doing them, but I don't think I want to do them. Now, I don't know what that was all about. I'm hoping that this feed is working better than the other feeds that I've been doing for the past couple of weeks. I'm back on my regular laptop. For the past couple of weeks, I noticed that there was some lagging going on, and I don't know what caused it or why. And I want to apologize for it. I'm so sorry. So I decided to go back to my regular laptop to see if that makes a difference. And Robin, you said I froze for a minute. Yeah, I noticed something happened. I don't know what it was, but and I don't know where the issue is. That is my main problem. Um, I thought I had everything straightened out with my internet company, and I got two boosters in the house. Like I said, I was on a new computer for the past three, I believe the past three um, lives that I did, and I noticed that there was this awful lag that I and freezing and what have you. And I can't tell this until I look at the replay. So everybody that watches me live, you get a chance to see a good feed. But if you go and watch the replay, that's when you see the lag and everything, which bothers me so bad. So I'm hoping that this is going to be better, going back to the regular computer that I was using because I wasn't having that issue. So we'll see. But if it is, I do apologize, and I am trying my best to figure out what the problem is so I can fix it so I can have better videos. Because it really, if it irritates me, I know it's irritating you. But I do thank you guys for hanging in there. So Beverly said last year you embroidered your grandson's hats. Good. So you like doing the hats, and I'm glad to know that you like doing the hats. I'm so glad because they're not that difficult to do once you learn how to use your equipment. They're really not any different than anything else that you hoop and do, to be honest about it. At least I haven't found that to be the case. But you just really need to know how to hoop it. If you can hoop the hat, that's the hardest part. Then the rest of it is not so bad. Whose birthday? Oh, okay. Okay. Hey Betty, how you doing? Good hearing from you. And hit the like button. Thank you. Hit the like button. And everyone, please wish Joyce Adams a blessed and serene birthday tomorrow. And this is from your friend Betty. I love you, Sister Joyce. I'm so glad that you're on here, uh, Betty. And thank you for letting us know. And Joyce is on here too, if I'm not mistaken. I think I saw her name pop up that she's on here to wish her a happy birthday. Yes, she is on here. So happy birthday to Joyce. Let me see. Do I have any emojis? Yay, happy birthday, Joyce. Okay. Thank you, Betty, and thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that very, very much. Mm. Okay, we've already talked about what to do to overcome the confidence gap pretty much, and that is, just do the work. That's the easiest thing I can say and the easiest thing for you to do. Tackle it. Whatever it is that you feel like you cannot do well, do it anyway. Keep doing it. Practice and practice and practice until you get it right. If you don't think you can hoop a hat correctly, get you some cheap hats and just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Dollar Tree used to sell the little cheapy hats for $1. Or I guess they would be $1.25. I haven't seen it in a long time. They're really cheap and flimsy. You're not gonna do anything with it really, but you could hoop it and stitch it and practice on it. Also, you can go online. Amazon has hat collections that aren't very expensive where you can buy. I know my husband bought me this when I first started embroidery. I got this like about 15 hats. I have no idea how much he paid for it, but about 15 hats of various colors and stuff, and he just bought them for me. And that's what I did. I just started hooping and stitching on the hats and learning how to do it. One of the first thing I did when I first got my machine, because I'm crazy, was to embroider on a hat and to do a jacket back. That was one of my first projects that I did because that's what I wanted to do. So, Faker McFake says she's loving my glasses. Thank you. I love my glasses too. But if I'm lucky enough, I am going to have surgery, cataracts. And if I'm lucky enough, I won't have to wear glasses anymore, except for readers. I have to wear readers. So you still see me in glasses, but I won't have to have them on my face 24/7 like I do now because I am nearsighted. So I wear my glasses all the time. They're bifocal, so I don't need them to read, but I keep them on anyway. But anyway, thank you so much. I like them too. Actually, they were sunglasses when I purchased them, and I had them take the shades out and put the lens in because I wanted big glasses at the time. So thank you. Hi, Margot. How are you? Thank you for stopping by. And I thought I saw somebody else pop in besides Betty. I said hi to Betty. Maybe I didn't see anybody else pop in. Uh, and Joy said, "Wow, thank you so much for all the birthday wishes. I love this community. Yes, this is a wonderful community, and I love them as well. And we all wish you a wonderful birthday. So have fun. Uh, but I still hope to see you tomorrow night, unless you got something very special planned. If you do, you can be excused." Okay. As I was saying, practice, practice, practice. Practice on gifts for friends and family. Donate items to charity, schools, or local events, and use the real world practice while building your confidence. So just get something and make it. If you uh, feel like you don't do it well, that's the very thing that you need to keep doing because you won't do it well unless you continue to do it. That's the only way you're going to learn. You have to. If you don't think you can line things up correctly, then you need to be doing stuff that requires you to line it up all the time and just learn, learn, learn. If your shirts come out a little crooked, figure out what it is. Figure out, do you need to put a marking sticker on it? Do you need to use a chalk or something to draw the line, measure it and everything, and get it centered and have your cross mark? If you're using a single needle machine, every every single needle machine comes with those grids for the hoops. Use those grids for the hoop. How you mark the top, bottom and the side and the middle and make your center point X and stuff. All of that. Those are little tools and stuff that you have at your disposal to help you. A lot of people, if you want to get the center, people just like with t-shirts and stuff. I just fold mine in half. Fold it in half. Get your shoulder seams together and everything. Get your side seams together. Fold it in half. Put a little light crease in there. And bam! I got my center. So I know where my center is. And then I do use my hooping station and set it up properly like it's supposed to be, and I'm on point. I'm on point. And then learn the little tricks like 3 fingers down from the neck and all of those different little tricks and stuff that people use to make sure that they put things on properly. Practice it. Keep doing it over and over again. Then your confidence is gonna come. It will. The more you do it, the better you get. And the better you get, the more confidence you'll have, and you'll be able to get out there and start selling whatever it is that you want to sell. And one more question. So I got a lot of questions tonight. What's one thing that makes you nervous about selling your work? If you do get nervous. Val says she missed seeing my jacket backs. Uh, I have not done, and I'm waiting for the answer. So while I'm responding to Val about the jacket bag, you all go ahead and put in the chat what is one thing that makes you nervous about selling your work. So now back to you, Val, about missing my jacket backs. I have not. Let me see. Take this off. I thought about that the other day, to be perfectly honest about it. Um, I hadn't done a jacket bag in a while, and I was looking at some of my items in my closet, and I think I have 5 or 6 jackets in there that I haven't put anything on because I made a conscious notation of, do I want every jacket I own to have something on the back? Do I? I don't know, but I feel kind of lost. So I might have to go ahead and make another jacket so I can hang it up so you guys can see it. Because I know I used to deliberately put a new jacket up every week so you guys could see what I've been working on. But I haven't done a jacket back. I haven't done a jacket back in a while. It may be close to a year, getting close because years go so fast. It may have been that much. But anyway, I'll get back to doing it. So Beverly says her fears, rejection, or them not liking the work. And Robin, I feel like work and it will be work and won't be fun and relaxing anymore. And Val, you said pricing. We're going to talk about that. So all of those are good and valid reasons to be a little hesitant in selling your work. Now, pricing is something we're going to talk about right now, actually. As far as rejection of them not liking the work, they're going to like it. They're going to like it. If you make something, in order to sell your first item, usually you have to make something, give it to somebody or wear it or some way like advertisement so people can see it. Usually that's how it starts off. Somebody sees something that you've given to somebody or wore yourself and they question you about it. Then that's when they ask, can you make me one? Or how much do you charge to make one? All of those kinds of things normally come up. So that's going to get your first work. So for them to like your work, they're going to like your work because that's what's going to make them want you to do something. Now, Are they not going to like the end product? Maybe what your real concern is. That comes down to you making sure you do the best work you can and make sure you don't accept a job that is beyond your current skill level. If you wear a simple shirt that has a cute phrase on it or a name or something in a cute font or something that has caught somebody's eye, and they say, "Oh, that's cute. I like that, girl. Where you get that from?" "Oh, I made this." "You make that? You sew?" "Yeah, okay. I embroider." "Yeah. Well, how much will you charge?" Because that's the first thing come out their mouth. "What do you charge to do this?" Well, it just depends. You don't want to give them a price right up front because you need to know what it is that they're asking for and what they want before you tell them how much it's going to be. Now, if it's not particularly a custom, now this is just coming from me. If you do, like, if you put a phrase and you don't have to do any customizing, no digitizing, nothing, it's a design you own, and it's just a phrase or something, and they like it, whatever, and they want you to do it exactly the way you've done it, and you pretty much know what it took to make it. So you pretty much really can tell them what you're going to charge because you have to think about it before you start selling stuff, what it is you're going to charge for certain things. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Uh, but anyway, that's how you're going to get your first sale. And as long as you do it the best that you can, the same way you made the one that you wore, they're going to like it because they liked what they saw. And if you mess it up, you're not going to give it to them. You're going to make it over until you get it right. And then somebody sees it and they like it and they want it and on and on and on. And that's how it starts. That's how I got started. That's how most people got started. You know, word of mouth, somebody saw it, they liked it, they wanted it. And I'm being very honest, the first thing that come out their mouth is going to be, how much are you charging for it? So, Claudette, let me see what you said. I agree with Robin. I wanted to be at my pace and a big demand and timeline. And in Faker, you said, always comparing my items to other, but I know my work is amazing. There you go. If you know your work is good, then you don't have to compare yourself to anybody else. Everybody can be good. It's enough room to go around to be good. It's enough room to go around and be bad too. So don't compare yourself to everybody else. Compare yourself to your standards. Is it good enough for you? And when I say good enough for you, I'm not saying that you drop your expectation. If your expectation is up here, then it should be up here with your expectation. I know for me, my expectation is high. So if I make something for somebody else, if I don't like it, I know you're not going to like it. At least that's how I feel about it. I don't give anybody or sell anybody anything that I would not buy myself, period. If I look at that and say I wouldn't buy this mess, then I'm not going to sell it to you. If I look at something and say, oh my goodness, this is gorgeous, yes, I will sell it to you. That's just how I operate. So pricing, you turn your passion into profit. The biggest mistake that we all tend to make is underpricing. If you charge $10 for something that takes you an hour to make, you're not valuing your time. Remember, your machine, your thread, your stabilizer, your fabric, your skill all have value. You have to compare time versus value. Customers aren't just paying for stitches, they're paying for your creativity, your time, and the fact that they can't go to Target or Walmart or even Amazon and buy this. They can only get it from you because you are the one putting it on the color that they want, the shirt that they want, the towel that they want, whatever it is. It's customized to what they want. Back to your time and your skill. You have to take into consideration all of those things: your machine, your thread, your stabilizer, your fabric. I have heard And I don't know where I heard it from, but there are some people that will not turn their machine on for less than $15, period. They don't care if it's one letter, 2 inches tall. They're not turning their machine on for less than $15. So that's your base right there. I'm not telling you to start there. I'm not telling you what to do. That's an individual decision that you have to make based upon your area, your skill level, all of those kinds of things. But you can't give it away, because when you sell something under price, you're making it hard for yourself and everybody else around you. Because if you sell something for $10 and I sell the exact same thing for $20, they're not going to want to pay me the $20 because they can go to you and get it for 10. But our skill level may not be the same, and you know, what can I say? My stuff may be better. I don't know. I've had this happen before. I've had people say, I can get this over here for X amount of dollars. Well, then go over there and get it. Why aren't you over there getting it? Because they know that stuff don't look good over there. That's why they came over here. But then don't tell me about what you can do over there when you don't want it anyway. That's why you're over here. So don't think I'm going to give it to you for $10 just because Susie gives it to you for $10 and she don't know what the heck she's doing. And trust me and trust and believe, I've seen this with my own eyes. I'm pretty sure Jeanette can attest to that as well, where people have brought things to you that was a hot mess. But then they don't want to pay you what you want to charge. Well, then go back to the hot mess first. Because my time, my skill, it's worth something. And if I tell you it's $20, it's $20. Or whatever I tell you it is. That's what it is. And that may not even be what the full value is, because some things, depending upon the intricacy of it, you can't really price it. When we got together and did the Christmas tree skirt, the group of us did the Christmas tree skirt, and it took us about 10 weeks total to get it all done. I mean, if we were doing it straight through and everything, we could have gotten it done in a week and a half or a week at the most, I don't know. But it took us about 10 weeks to get it done. When we completed our skirts, and we all had similar skirts, various sizes, some had a lot of applique, some didn't have a lot of applique, so forth and so on. But the consensus was we could not make this skirt to sell because it was too much time, energy, and everything put into it to make it, to price it where people would pay for it. Because everything that we put into it would make the price too high. People would not want to pay that type of money for it. Because I'm going to tell you, I honestly looked at that thing when I got through with it, all that I went through, and I said, they have to give me $1,500 for this thing. And I was serious as a heart attack. $1,500. Now, ain't nobody going to give you $1,500 for no Christmas tree skirt. I wouldn't. But with the time and all that we went through to get it done, at that time, I felt that would have been what I would have to charge. Now, if I was to do it again, it I could do it quicker, be honest about it, but it still would be expensive. I'm going to be honest about it. It would be in the hundreds. It would not be cheap. And I don't know who's going to pay you hundreds of dollars for a Christmas tree skirt. So therefore, I would never make it to sell. So some things just are priceless, I guess, would be the best way, unless you do have a customer that recognizes the skill and everything and say, yeah, I'll pay that. And if they do, well, then have at it. That's fine. But I'm just saying, you do have to price according to your area and what the market will bear. And I know you've heard that phrase before, what the market will bear. So you have to keep that in mind. You have to charge what the market would bear, but you don't want to underprice yourself. You want to look at how much time does it take, How much effort does it take? You cannot go by stitches. I hate that when people say $2 a stitch and all that kind of craziness. That does not, it doesn't add up. It does a dollar, not $2 a stitch, $2 for every 1,000 stitch. No, you can't do that. That's not going to pay you. You're not going to make any money if you stick to that formula because it doesn't take into account putting the thread on, hooping it, getting the design, making sure everything is centered. It does not take into consideration all of the skills that you have to use in order to get it in the machine for the machine to stitch it. It just takes into consideration how many stitches is in this particular design, period. It doesn't take into consideration the stopping and the changing of the thread. If you got a single needle machine, you got to stop and thread and do this and that and all of that. It doesn't take that into consideration. So don't get trapped with this $2 or $1 per 1,000 stitch. That is old, antiquated information. Do not go there. Please do not go there. You got to look at something else. And there's a lot of different conversations about pricing. There's people that sell software and spreadsheets and all kinds of stuff to help you figure out your costs. I've seen a spreadsheet where they were estimating how much it costs per minute or 10 minutes or whatever it was for your light bill and for your depreciation of your machine. And I mean, it was just breaking everything down. It was just utterly ridiculous. And like, who's going to do all that? Big companies probably do. They have the people to do that. A little company like me, no, I'm not going to do that. I got to look at this stuff and think, how hard is this for me to do? And how much time is it going to take? And how much energy and effort do I have to put into it? And what supplies do I have to use? And then I'll come up with a price. That's it. So I don't know if that's information that works for you, but that's just the bottom line. That's how it is. And marketing, well, time versus value. Customers aren't paying for stitches. They're paying for your creativity. They can't get it from Target. So that's your value. Your marketing start with friends and family, word of mouth. Like I mentioned, baby shower effect, that's always good. You make something at a baby shower, somebody sees it, they fall in love with it, they order it, they know somebody else having a baby, whatever, and they want it, and then you go from there. I know Eve said that's how she got into embroidery. She did a baby shower gift, and her business just shot off like that. That happens. It's not a joke. It happens. So it's possible. Your Etsy shop is perfect for reaching beyond your circle. Social media, short videos, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, all of those kinds of things. Now, if you're like me, you're not that good at those kinds of things, but they are important. I do YouTube, but I haven't done the rest. That's my fallacy that I need to work on, to get things up and moving. But I'm like um, Robin and who else was that said? I believe that was Beverly. That you don't want to be overwhelmed with business. And I'm in agreement. I've said this before. I don't think I would be in my stage in my life. I don't think I would be happy if I spent 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day doing a repetitive embroidery. If I'm doing shirts every day, all day, baby blankets every day, all day, whatever it is that my market is towels, whatever it is, because my orders are so big that this is what I do every day, every day, every day. I'm doing the same thing every day, getting it out, stitching it, getting it out, stitching it, No. Mm-mm. That would not make me happy. I would no longer enjoy embroidery because it has turned into work. It has not turned, it is no longer fun. I want to make money, and I do make a little, and I would like to make more, but I don't want it to be a everyday, all day situation. That if I was 20 years younger, yes, but in my stage of life, no. My time is far more valuable than sitting up in a room every day, all day, cranking out the same thing over and over and over again. That would literally drive me to drink, and I mean drive me to drink. And probably something more than this blackberry wine, this blueberry wine. Because I'm telling you, that would take the fun out of it. But that's just me. Some people don't mind. Some people enjoy that. That's what they're looking for. But I'm beyond that right now. But if you're interested in it, Robin said it will feel like work and won't be fun and relaxing anymore. And that's how I feel. It will feel like work. It won't be um, relaxing. And Claudette, that was you. You said you agree with Robin. You wanted to be at your pace. And I agree. I have taken big orders and I paced myself. I knew when I took the order how I would work my time and approximately how long it would take me to do it. And that's exactly how I worked it. I can do X amount of things in a day. Therefore, it's going to take me these many days to get it done. You can have your order on such and such a time. And that's how I work it. No, all that late night and early morning. No, I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. Hi, Margot. How are you? Let me see, Becky. You said create. I was nervous about doing baby blankets for a lady, thinking she wouldn't like them. Well, she ordered 2 more blankets. See, you never know. People are gonna like your stuff because, for one thing, unless they are really into embroidery and know how to do it themselves, they don't see the mistakes we make. They really don't. Be honest about it. People may not even notice the mistakes that you make. We notice it because we know how it's supposed to look. And when I say mistakes, I'm not saying go make something, make a mistake, and then sell it anyway. What I'm saying, we're very critical on the work that we do because we know what right looks like. And the least little slight, like I'm anal, if I can't get every one of those little bitty jump stitches cut, it bugs me. That's why I hate jump stitches because I'm spending all my time trying to get in there and get that little jump stitch cut because that's what I do. Some people would never even notice that. They don't even know that that is an issue. It's not an issue to them. Hi, Marissa. How are you? Let me see who else. Okay. So, turning one more question. If you were to start selling tomorrow, what would your very first listing be? Out of the things that you said that you would start selling, like some people said apparel, some people said baby items, some people said what hats and clothing, somebody else said home decor. Out of those things that you said that you would sell if you were to start selling, what would your very first listing be? Do you know? Have you thought about that? Now, keep in mind, we're on the topic of personalization, and those are uh, because of the fact that it's trending, because of the fact that it's always popular, because of the fact there are so many things that you can, uh, so many items that you can embroider on and personalize, the categories, the listings are almost endless. So if you had your choice, what would it be? What do you think would sell for you? Joy said baby blankets would be her first listing. Now, for me, obviously, since I have a shop, and yes, I have sold some things, not a lot, but I've sold some things. And I do rather, kitchen towels. So I guess my first listing would be kitchen towels. However, I am branching out with other things. So my first listing of something else would not be necessarily kitchen towel. Now, I don't know if I'm going to change my focus or stay with kitchen towels. I think I'm going to add because you have to kind of play with and see what really works. Um, I would be very interested in doing baby items, to be honest about. I would be very interested in doing baby items. And I think the baby blankets is an excellent choice, but uh, I'm on the fence still. I haven't decided what I would do that would not require me to have a lot of inventory. And that's where I am with wanting to not accumulate a lot of inventory. Jenny, you said napkins and kitchen towels to start off. And Robin, you're saying mug rugs. So, um, heirloom quilts sell really well. People like them, but that's an expensive item, so you'd have to be careful with that. I know people generally sell them with the one circle embroidered on because most of them have 12 circles. The one circle is approximately $70 when they sell, because I think uh, people, you have to look at how much you're paying for the blank, then add all of your time and all that kind of stuff up, and then make your profit on that. So that's how people are coming up with that $70 price for that heirloom, and that's just with the one circle embroidered. And I have to tell you, I've done a ton of them. I've done a ton of them. Mostly for my great granddaughter. So she doesn't know how blessed she is because she has heirloom blankets that cost probably could sell it for over $300 because I've done multiple circles in them. She has one blanket that has all 12 circles with something in it. I did like a safari thing because that was her nursery room theme, and I did the entire blanket with baby animals and stuff all on it. It was fun. I had fun with those things, and but yeah, I think that's a good thing. Claudette, you said towels and mug rug, and Margot, you said bath towel. Bath towels are really um a good thing to sell because uh people love personalization, and bath towels usually are. I personalize the towels in my bathroom. I have my decorative towels. I'm that old fashioned. I have towels that are in there to look at and towels that are in there to use. You don't touch my embroidered towels. They're just in there for decor, for decoration. Now, as far as my kitchen towels are concerned, I have to be honest about it. I do have towels that I just hang on my stove and I don't use them. They're just there for decoration. I have other towels that I use, but the ones that and most of those are ones that I've gotten as gifts, which is pretty cool. And so I hang them on my oven door for my decoration. And then the rest of the towels and stuff I use. So, they people buy them. the last order that I got not very long ago were for kitchen tiles for decoration, and they personalized it. Not only was it personalized because they chose the design that I have that I'm selling, they wanted names put on it as well. So that turned out to be uh, a personalized gift for somebody that for some people it was more than one that they wanted to do. So yeah, that baptize is a pretty good idea. So I hope that you guys have been encouraged to step out, think about your skill level, and don't hold yourself back if it's something that you want to do as far as selling. You don't have to have a business, you don't have to get the license, you don't have to do all of those things if you're not planning on doing this as a big hustle or your main business or whatever. If you're going to get big with it and produce and everything, then go through the process of getting, set up with your license and your incorporation and all that kind of stuff, however you want to do it. But I mean, if you're doing a hit and miss here and there and stuff, I wouldn't go that route yet. I haven't gone that route yet because I don't do it often enough where I have to do that yet. But you have to keep the law in mind and keep what the state and your city and town and all that county and all that stuff requires, all of those kinds of things, because you don't want to get in trouble. But just think about it. But don't let it stop you because you don't think that you have the skill. And Marissa, you said beach towels and personalized mug rugs for businesses. Okay. Now I have done beach towels. That's fun and interesting. Um, I'm always talking about big. I want everything big. And I did do some beach towels back in July. And they came out really nice. I really liked how everything came out. The only thing that I didn't personally like, the person that got them did. I want everything big. So I wish that I had a bigger hoop. And I didn't want to do the split design and make a big giant one and all that kind of stuff. So I did the biggest one I could do naturally with what my machine would handle. And went on because beach towels and bath towels are big, and I just feel like big meets big, big meets big. So that's just kind of where I am. But that's a good idea. Personalized mug rug. And I have to get into this mug rug thing. Mug rugs are so cute. But you know what? I am not a big mug rug person because I don't use them. Do you guys use your mug rugs? Be honest and tell me, because I know we all have made mug rugs, and I have a whole collection of them, and I don't use any of them, and I don't know why. So I keep thinking people don't use mug rugs. So do people really use mug rugs? What do you guys think? Let me know. Put something in the chat. Let me know. Do you use mug rugs? Personally, do you use your mug rugs? Robin says she does, and so does her family. Good. Anybody else? Anybody else? Hey, Tracy, how are you? Hadn't seen you before. Thank you for stopping by. And Tracy, you say you do. Good, good. And Val, the people I gave mug rugs to do not use them. Okay. The people I gave mug rugs to do not use them. Okay. Did they tell you why? Jenny, you say you use yours. Okay. So we got mixed feelings here on the mug rug thing. Some people use them, some people, family use them, some people say they've given them and they don't get used. I try to remember that I even have them, and I have tried to use mine. Now, the ones that you gave me, Jenny, I have used. I have to be honest about it. I use them because I keep them out where I can get to them. The rest of them that I have, I don't keep them out. That's why they don't get used. Cause see, I can grab yours in a minute because they're always out for me to use. But I don't want to use them to the point where they get dirty. So I don't use them every time. But see, they're right here. I keep them where I can use them. Because I love them, they're really nice. Those are the ones Jenny gave me for a Christmas present, and I'm so thankful because they're absolutely beautiful. Um, Kingsbury Crab, hey, how you doing? And you said no mug rugs. I use a folded paper towel. I do. And Becky, I have to tell you, I use your coasters. Now I'm a coaster person. I think that's the difference. I will use a coaster because that's what I grew up using. So coasters stick on my mind. I have your coasters on my dining room, on my kitchen table, which is my dining room table in my kitchen. But anyway, I have those and I use those. Um, There you said now I put them in plastic envelopes so they can just wipe them off. Okay. Because people don't want to mess them up and all of that. I can see that. Claudette, you said I don't use them. I'm old fashioned. I still use cup and saucers. Okay, Aileen would align with for tea for one. People ask for them a lot. Okay. I I don't use cup and saucers only because I don't have any. I haven't had a cup and saucer in a long time. My set doesn't come with a cup and saucer, but if I had one, I would use it. I would, cause yeah, I'm old fashioned like that too. But I use coasters. Because I'm definitely a stickler about putting a glass on a table of any kind, a kitchen table, a coffee table, a lamp, to anything. Please don't put your glass on my table. I have coasters all over my house. Get a coaster and stick your glass on. I'm just not a mug rug person because I never used a mug rug until I started embroidering. I didn't even know what a mug rug was, so it doesn't stick in my mind. And that's probably one of the reasons why I do use Jenny's, because these, I guess, are really coasters. And coasters are something that I'm used to using. So I guess that's the difference. I digress, but I was just curious about the mug rug because I have looked at, and I've made a lot of them, and I've looked at designs for beautiful mug rugs, but then I said, I'm not going to get that because nobody uses them. That's just my thought. But obviously, I'm wrong. There are people that do use mug rugs. So that's good to know that people do. So now that we've kind of gone through everything, talked about personalization, talked about ramping up your confidence in selling stuff, and kind of talked a little bit about pricing and the fact that you don't want to devalue yourself whenever it is that you do start selling. So we can wrap everything up. And I want to excuse me, encourage everybody, like I mentioned earlier, start working on a project that you feel like you aren't that good at. If you think you're not good at in the hoop projects, do it in the hoop project this week. If you think you're not good at putting zippers on a zipper bag in the hoop, do that. Try something. If you, whatever it is that you have, doing a cap, do a cap. If you've never done a cap and you're nervous about a cap, do a cap. Try it. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? The only thing you have to lose is your fear. That's all. You don't have anything else to lose but the fear of doing that project. So try. Just try. Nothing is going to happen. The machine is not going to break and blow up. If you mess it up, so what? Try it again. It's no big deal. that's the only way you're going to learn. So I encourage everybody to reach out, go through your stash or whatever it is you have, your designs, your whatever you got, and pull something out that you've been putting off, something quick and simple, nothing complicated, and go ahead and try it and see how it turns out and see whether or not you're going to surprise yourself. Because I think that you will. You will be very surprised how well you have done whatever it is that you are afraid to do. I know um, my issue, I haven't really backed off of anything yet that I've have been doing on the embroidery machine. Years ago in the beginning, I didn't do appliques because I didn't know how to do appliques. I was afraid of appliques. I didn't understand appliques. I took a course under Eve. I learned how to do appliques. So appliques aren't a big deal to me. So I jumped in and rectified that. What my issue is now, in all honesty, is sewing. I used to sew. I haven't sewn in decades. And I know my skill level in sewing is much to be desired. It's not horrible, but it certainly doesn't have a skill level. I would not ever make anything to sell that I have to sew. Ain't gonna do that. Not unless it's a pillow where you just got four corners or something. I mean, I can do that. I can do a square, and I've made reading pillows and stuff like that where you have to sew and everything. I can do simple sewing like that, but I'm working on making some purses and stuff like that that's a little challenging and stuff. And I know that it's pointing out my deficiency in my sewing skill. So how am I handling that? I'm doing more sewing. I'm taking on projects that require sewing. My other deficiency is in cutting. I don't cut straight lines. I don't. It irritates me to death that I don't. But I'm working on that as well. That's one of the reasons why I got the Active quilt, so I could, circumvent that a little bit. But the project that I'm working on now, I had to cut out a whole lot of pieces, and I couldn't use the Active quilt. I literally had to measure and cut, measure and cut, measure and cut, and I did it. Didn't want to do it, but I did it. And I said, the only way I'm going to be able to get better is just do it. I just have to do it. And at some point, I'm hoping that I'll get better. And at some point, I'm hoping that my sewing skills will get better. That's just my way of handling it. So I'm turning that over to you guys. Do the same thing. Find out what it is that you don't like doing or you're afraid to do or whatever, and just jump in with both feet and go ahead and do it. So I'm going to ask you guys to jump in with both feet and give me thumbs up. Hit that like button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you know when I'm coming on. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. I want to thank everybody that came in tonight, and I especially want to thank the people that I've not met before. Tracy, you're new. I hadn't met you before. Thank you so much for stopping in. I think there was another name that popped in that I've not seen before. But if there is and I overlook you, I do apologize. But I do know that there are people out here that watch me that have not come in, and I appreciate it. You all are more than welcome to pop in at any time. You can join the conversation and you can pop back out however you feel. You are more than welcome. You know, the field is open for everybody to comment, add to it, say whatever it is on your mind, ask a question, do whatever it is that make you happy. And Joyce, you said have to try caps and using magnetic hoops. There you go. Try it. Do that. We can work on that on a Wednesday night. And Jenny, you say you're absolutely correct. Miss Shirley, caps are on my list to make. Just need to set it up. Like I said, we can work on that on a Wednesday night. I'm game. that is something that we can do, because I feel like everybody should be able to just at least give it a try. You know, nothing fails but a try. And so many people have have invented great things, but they failed miserably multiple times before they got to that point. That's the only way you're going to get to that point is try. If you never try, then you never know whether you can do it. So that's what, what we all have to do. Now, if you guys were here at the very beginning, or if you saw my thumbnail on Facebook or YouTube, you know that this is the beginning of a 6-week series where we will be talking about um, making, working with embroidery and hobbies and making money and all of that kind of stuff. Week 1, we just finished embroidery in the age of personalization. Next week will be pricing without fear, how to value your embroidery work fairly. So we talked a little bit about it tonight. Next week, we're going to talk even more about it. How to value your embroidery work fairly, pricing without fear. Because we did have a couple of people here say that that's one of the reasons they have not stepped out to do it. So um, please come back with your questions, your issues, your experiences, everything, to join in the chat next week as we follow up on what we talked about tonight and going forward, talking about pricing without fear. That's week 2, how to value your embroidery work fairly. So with that, if anybody got any other comments, statements, questions, anything like that, please put it in the chat. And let me see. And Leslie, I did see you. I don't even know if I recognized you, but hi, Leslie. I don't want to not say anything to you. I did see you pop in, but I don't recall recognizing you. So I'm sorry for that, but I know you're here. Let me see who else that I may have not said anything to. I don't think there is. Okay, I think I got everybody. So you guys know I'm going to see you guys tomorrow night, those of you that will be there. And also plan to come back next Tuesday for the pricing without fear conversation. Come please with your questions and your concerns and your experiences. Because I mean, we all have had some, those of us that have sold something, we have experiences. Trust me, some of them really good and some of them not so much. And Kingsbury Craft, thank you for a great video. I do appreciate that so much. You guys just have no idea how much I appreciate all of the support that I get from all of you. Margot, you said when is my cataract surgery scheduled? Late October. Late October. So I'm looking forward to that, because I tell you, I don't night drive. And I'm hoping, my girlfriend got hers done a while back, and she said she sees so clear, she can night drive and everything. And I'm hoping and hoping and hoping that's going to help me as well to be able to see at night, so I won't feel so confined in certain things. But anyway, I will talk to you guys tomorrow night, those of you that are coming on the Zoom. And for the rest of you guys, I will talk to you next week. You guys take care. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And thank you so much for your support. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to give me the thumbs up and hit the notification bell and subscribe if you have not. Good night, everybody.